1962's Dr.No is the first entry in MGM's original James Bond series. Directed by Terrence, the movie stars Sean Connery, Ursula Andress, Joseph Wiseman, Bernard Lee, and Lois Maxwell. After one of MI6's agents and his secretary have been killed while stationed in Jamaica, Her Majesty's Secret Service have no choice other than to send their top secret agent out to the Caribbean for further investigations. Before making his arduous journey, Bond is informed by Head of Operations M that both a number of American and Cuban missiles have been thrown off track and have been mysteriously landing in rural jungles across the globe. Upon arriving in Kingston, 007 is not even granted a moment's peace, as he is welcomed by three antagonistic characters. These include a sunglass-wearing espionage type, a bothersome paparazzo, and an untrustworthy chauffeur. Trusting his instincts, Bond phones ahead to the embassy to make sure that the driver is in fact genuine. The ambassador has no knowledge of this arrangement, thus confirming 007's suspicions. Thinking that keeping an eye on one enemy is enough, 007's troubles are doubled when he notices a suspicious car has been trailing him for quite some time. Bond orders the driver to immediately pull off the main road to lose his pursuers. Before the chauffeur has even time to turn his head, he feels the barrel of 007's newly acquired PPK firmly pressed against his spine. After a tussle in the roadside dirt, Bond questions the driver's true intentions, but due to 007 mercifully granting his battered opponent a cigarette, the chauffeur commits suicide by biting on a cyanide pill contained within the smoke. After arriving at the embassy, Bond has the ambassador bring him to Strange's home. Here 007 has been brought closer to solving the mystery after coming across some vital clues, one being a picture of the deceased with a local fisherman by the name of Farrell, and the other being a receipt from the laboratories of Professor Dent. Bond decides to start his inquiries with the fisherman, who is none too pleased with the presence of the Secret Service agent. After being badgered by the spy for quite some time, Farrell invites Bond into the back room of a bar to exchange information, but unbeknownst to 007, he has just been lured into a trap. Bond is reacquainted by the mysterious sunglass-wearing man he had encountered in the airport earlier on, who now happens to brandish a weapon of the same make and model of Bond's. 007 is relieved to hear that the gunman happens to be a CIA agent by the name of Felix Leiter, a man that would prove to be one of 007's most trusted allies over the next 25 years. After being properly introduced, the three gentlemen sit down and discuss the mysterious goings-on that have been occurring on the tropical island. After having his suspicions confirmed that Dent had something to do with the killings, Bond decides to take up inquiries with the Professor. Dent doesn't take too kindly to Bond's interrogating questions, and decides to take the matter of disposing of this British pest into his own hands. Tired of having numerous attempts made on his life, 007 pays no heed to any of the local islanders' warnings, and makes it his sole mission to sail to Crab Key and find out once and for all what is truly going on. But little does he know of the bizarre anomalies that await him, that include a fire-breathing dragon, a bikini-clad beauty, and a half-Chinese, half-German doctor with mechanical crushing hands. Although being quite popular in Britain in the 1950s, the character of 007 was relatively unknown in the US, until then President John F. Kennedy listed From Russia with Love amongst his all-time favourite novels. Film producer Harry Saltzman saw this as a prime opportunity to launch the ultimate movie franchise. Unable to handle the sheer workload by himself, Saltzman teamed up with fellow film producer Cubby Broccoli. Together they formed Eon Productions, a successful partnership that would last for 12 years before being eventually dissolved in 1974. The producers had originally envisioned kicking off the series with Thunderball, as they both felt it would make the most exciting picture, but due to a copyright dispute over the rights of the story, it was virtually impossible to adapt the book to the screen. The studio eventually settled for Dr.No, as it seemed to be a story that would fit neatly within their tight $1 million budget. The next problem was finding a suitable candidate for Bond. Actors who were considered offered to play the role included Cary Grant and James Fox, but both actors stated that they were only willing to appear in no more than 2 pictures as the super spy. Even Roger Moore was considered, but due to his boyish good looks he was dismissed. Moore would eventually go on to play Bond in a 1964 comedy short, before taking on the role in the official film series for most part of the 1970s and 80s. The producers inevitably settled on a virtually unknown Scotsman they had spotted in Disney's Darby O'Gill and the Little People, by the name of Sean Connery. Upon sending Connery's headshots to United Artists, he was met by disapproval, but with enough persuasion from Cubby, the New Yorker led them to their senses and so Connery became Bond. Director Terrence was handed the responsibility to mould the rugged Scotsman into a Fettes College graduate. Young brought Connery to Savile Row to be tailored and instructed the actor to wear suits to bed in order for them to become like a second skin. Young also made him attend the finest eateries that London had to offer. Actions such as these have led to Bond aficionados claiming that Young is the father of the James Bond blueprint that many moviegoers have become all too familiar with over the years. After landing their 007, Saltzman and Broccoli were now left with the task of casting their leading lady. One day whilst looking over headshots of various actresses, Cubby was immediately struck by the stunning beauty of Swiss model Ursula Andress. Without hesitation, Cubby got in contact with her acting agent, Kirk Douglas, who was a friend of Andress, had read the script and encouraged her to take on the role, as it seemed like it would be a fun movie to be a part of. Andress has stated that it was a good job that she is an avid fitness fan, as the part was physically demanding. Andress sustained a number of cuts and bruises in scenes where Bond and Honey were evading Dr. No's relentlessly pursuing guards. The scene where Honey Rider emerges from the Caribbean Sea is one of the most iconic images in cinematic history. The shot would go on to be replicated in 2002's Die Another Day, and then in 2006's Casino Royale. Canadian stage and screen actor Joseph Wiseman plays the notorious Dr. Julius No. In order to achieve the look of a man of German and Chinese ancestry, the makeup artist rather bizarrely used fish glue to pin back Wiseman's eyes, in order to replicate an epicanthic fold. In an attempt to make No look more menacing, the scriptwriters modified the Doctor's hooked hands from the novel to mechanical artificial limbs that were capable of crushing solid steel. Dr.No is the first film to feature the iconic gun barrel opening sequence. Although many fans think the man that appears in the white circle is Connery, it is in fact head stunt performer and coordinator Bob Simmons. Connery would have to wait till 1965's Thunderball before getting his time in the spotlight. American Morris Binder was responsible for the conception of the gun barrel, as well as the opening titles. Excluded from Russia with Love and Goldfinger, Binder would go on to work on every Bond title sequence up until 1989's License to Kill. Given that this is 007's debut mission on the silver screen, the gadgets are severely dialed back. Here 007 receives his trademark weapon of choice, the PPK, thus replacing his now defunct Beretta. The Walther would prove so popular with the Super Spy that he would go on to use several variations of the pistol throughout the series. The casting of this movie is absolutely sublime. Last minute additions to the production, Bernard Lee as M and Lois Maxwell as Moneypenny, would prove so sufficient in their roles that it would be almost 20 years before either of them were recast. The movie is also responsible for launching one of TV's and cinema's most iconic tunes. Whilst playing his upright piano on location in Jamaica, music composer Monty Norman gave birth to the track simply entitled The James Bond Theme. After composing this piece of music, Norman knew it would be an instant smash. As the debuting film to a series that would feature 19 other entries, it does a more than adequate job of launching the franchise and introducing audience members to the world's #1 spy. If you're a fan of more modern Bond adventures and want to see where it all started, then definitely make sure to check out Dr.No.